is for everybody, but it's an earlier show that we typically do. It's a little bit later than I meant to be. But with the new job, it's like, 2 p.m. is kind of that place where I'm able to kind of fit the show into my day. And then I'll go back to the brewery and do some more work there for getting new menu launched. But hey, show for the EU and the UK and everyone else in between. What's happening, baby? Welcome to the show. Let's go back to the beginning here. All right. Whoo! What's happening? Return to the Mac. What's up, Texas Squatch? What's happening, Light Bright? Good to see you. What's up, Astro Clone Wolf? Good to see you. What's up? All right, there we go. Whoo! We made the show on time, which is always nice to do. So I hope everyone's having a beautiful day so far. I myself am also having a wonderful day. Whew. We're on the verge, everybody, of having the grow back up and going. I got some cleaning to do today and finishing up that, planting some sprouts and stuff like that, kind of juggling a few different and sundry items. But we're going to be basically running Galactic Citrus Shiva straight. Just that one. We're doing a little, I wouldn't call it a pheno hunt per se. I mean, it may be. If I find something really special in terms of a male and a female, I might lock them into a tent, make them, hibbity-dibbity-doo. Let's make an F2. But at the end of the day, we're more pheno watching is kind of what I'm looking at. And what does that mean to me? Pheno watching to me on an F1 basically means that I am looking at the different potential phenos within sort of, this set amount of beans we're starting with. So we're popping 25. We'll have a germination rate for everybody on that one. I'll be planning those after the show and getting that all done really quickly and then heading back to the brewery. For those of you who are wondering in the thumbnail for this, is he standing in front of a big set of brewing containers? Yeah, no, that was me at work quickly going, oh, shoot. I didn't program the show this morning. So I apologize for the late notice on that. I should have done it this morning so everybody could have had a chance to get the notification on it. But again, working into the new shows in the new world, the new schedules, I'm kind of figuring it out slowly but surely. I'm going to make sure I got live chat on. There we go. Live chat is on now. Hell yeah, I'm super stoked that you're doing well, Light Bright. It's been a while. It's good to see you back in the hood, back in the crew. All right. What's up, guys? You're not your mama. How you doing, gorgeous? Good to see you. All right. But yeah, so the good news is we're going to have plants going very soon again. At the end of the day, we're going to be going Galactic Citrus Shiva straight through and through on these next runs. And good news is, I don't know what the good news is. I just talked to our computer person briefly via text. I was like, I've got some good news. And I'm pretty sure that good news means is everything is a go. We're about to launch the website. What does that mean? Well, one, I'm going to let you buy seeds. I'm going to let you buy our CBD. I'm going to let you buy all the swag. We're about to go live again. In terms of our store, it's been over 2 years. And that is a true statement, a true reality. It's been over 2 years since we've had a functioning store. It has been an ongoing uphill battle of trying to figure out how the hell and bullshit to do this or to do that or to do that. But we're about to be there, everybody. So basically, once the site gets up and running, we're going to be having seeds on it too. You know what? Obviously, some of the initial seed packs that will be available will be F1s. Okay, but at the end of the day, they're very affordable. 25 beans, $50. Good to go. We're going to be rolling and advancing as we go on, obviously, doing different things and new things and fun things. But, at the end of the day, our next mission after the CBD is what are we going to be releasing to make affordable and accessible to people within our community, within our industry. And that's called seeds, baby. All right. Hey, wonderful Light Bright. Well, I'm glad you're here, my friend. Much love, baby. Woo! All right. Also, I'd just like to take a moment there. One, O'Shea, when you watch this, if you watch this, I stole your lighter. I'm sorry. I stole your lighter yesterday. I apologize about that. And Return to the Mac, I hope you got my message earlier before I went into the kitchen there to start my day at the brewery. I know that you are waiting for a few bits of information. I also need to get that stuff for my website as well. So it will be done in the next couple of days. I'm just sort of in crunch time right now between a couple of auditions, negotiating a feature film I'm going to be in, as well as, developing and launching a brand new menu and restructuring the entire kitchen for success. So I am running around like a bit of a Mad Hatter right now. But the good thing is, everybody, Uncle Potsquatch thrives on being busy. When I don't have enough going on, that's when I get trapped in my head. But when it's go time, I just keep going. I just keep going, get it done. And so that's actually going to be a good thing for all of you. One, it means I'm going to stay on top of content better. I'm going to stay on top of shows better. I'm going to stay on top of the store better. I'm going to stay on top of everything better. So that's good. I get off on that shit, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Kenneth R. Knox? Howdy, and shout out back to PA as well. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in, all of you. But yeah, no, and it's gonna be fun. And you know, like this will be the first time we've developed a genetic on the show and run it. We've grown genetics we've developed on the show before, but we've never run a show we've developed on the show with you watching and then run it. So we're going to be breaking out the first initial test, or as I call it, pheno watching, of the Galactic Citrus Shiva. It's about to go bangarang. We're going to get some crazy, wonderful things going on that. Realistically, after this run, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that we've developed that I'd love to run, but you know, Gazzers has got a couple of wonderful things en route for us, which is the Master Kush train rack. So we're going to be busting a bunch of those out. Why? Because I've got an OG Kush train rack. So we're probably on the next run going to do the Master Kush train rack, the OG Kush train rack, as well as the, oh, what did he call it? It was a Master Kush by Skunky something. Something like that. So we're going to be running those as well. And that'll probably be realistically some of the next kind of playing around with stuff that we're going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? But this run's going to be a lot of fun. It's a magical mystery tour of seeing, well, one, what's going to come out from that initial crossing of our orange Hindu Kush being impregnated by our alien ribbed male. What are my goals with that if we can achieve what I'm hoping for? Well, I'd like to fuse the scents there. I'd like to have that orangey funk. I'd like to have a bit of that kind of sexy funk that the Alien Rift had. I'd like the bud structure to be adopted from the Alien Rift, but I'd like the plant structure to be adopted from the Orange Hindu. Or maybe an Alien Rift structure with the size of the Orange Hindu. That'd be fun. I'd love to bring out the trichability of some of the phenos of the orange, but like the Alien Rift was so frosted. So having some of that frost come back would be great as well. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully stabilizing this one out to kind of have a much greater bud density as well as formation. And that's something I'm excited about. I tell you, you know, I tell you what, it's going to be a good time. Hell yeah. Thomas the Tank Engine. I love it, Return to the Mac. I love it. Oh, that's all right, Reverend Veritas. I mean, at the end of the day, the good news is for the brand, for the company, for the show, we're getting a lot of attention. We just did a very big event on Saturday. Big shout out to the Rockin' Cowboy. That's a store in Vancouver, as well as International Motorsports. They had us down as their exclusive cannabis-related vendor and cannabis vendor. It was crazy. I mean, you know, they're like, yeah, bring it all. Just show up with anything and just be there. And so we showed up. We had a wonderful event. It was great. I shot a lot of the event. Most of the event was music, but I do have all of that shot. I will be editing that video and releasing that video tomorrow for everybody. So on Tuesday, you're going to get a fun video of just sort of the initial sort of stuff, and then most of it's just sort of different sort of music shots of this cool event that welcomed in our people, the Potsquatch Growers Army, to be the exclusive and only cannabis-related person there. So that was pretty cool. That was really rad and was very humbling for us to be there. And it was a little surreal too, to be fair, you know. But we had a lot of fun there. And so, you know, we did 420. These people, the Rockin' Cowboy, they're organizing this event. They're like, man, you're the most legitimate vendor at 420. I was like, really? Out of the 500 different vendors here, you pick us. So that was pretty cool. It was very, very humbling and very nice to see. We killed it at the event. They've invited us back for another event in September, so we're looking forward to that. You know, and that's one of the things that we're going to be also kind of working into my life, I think, is trying to show up at a bunch of events with both CBD line as well as a bunch of other fun things. So things are going really well, everybody. Like, you know what? It'd be great or magical if overnight we had the millions of dollars we need to do everything right away. But what we have here, we've been doing this for almost 6 years now, and we have fought uphill every single step of the way. We've fought tooth and nail, no money, but blood, sweat, and tears. Well, we had a little money. We spent a little money, but I mean, you know, we've worked really hard to get where we're at. We're working hard to get to where we're going, and it's looking really good. We're moving a lot of headway. And so a lot of exciting things this year are going to be coming. Everybody, like, you know, we're going to have our store back up and running again. We're going to be expanding that. We're going to be expanding the clothing line, the rolling paper line. We're going to be expanding the seed genetics line and launching that. We're going to be expanding the CBD line. We're about to launch our own hemp-based cigarette. It's going to be great. I think Texas is going to love these. Texas is the particular state where I've kind of got my eyes targeted on them, and I think we can move a lot of these things in Texas. Obviously, in other states as well. But Texas is going to be kind of probably where I roll this product out. I want to see how it's responded to, but it's going to be very fun. There's lots of fun things we've got in development, and also too, I'd like to take a moment here for those of you at home who would like to see some of my acting. I mean, I don't have a lot of lines in it, but I have a lot of screen time in it. There's a brand new miniseries television show that came out on Lumi today, 8 p.m. Which is the Aboriginal Television Programming Network and their streaming service Lumi. I believe you have access to it for sure through Apple TV. I know you can do that, check it out, and run it through there. They've plugged it into a few other things as well, but it's called Shadow of the Rougarou. Shadow of the Rougarou. Rougarou is spelled Rougarou. And if you want to see Uncle Potsquatch playing an evil white guy wolfer dude, go check it out. It's out today. Everybody around the world can watch it. Go check it out at Lumi. I think you can get a free week streaming, so to try it out. So sign up for it. Then you can cancel it right away so they don't end up charging you, but you still get that free week. And you can get in there and you can watch Uncle Potsquatch in the show that we were shooting a number of months back, if you're curious anyway. #boom. All right. But anyway, let's move on. And I'm probably really far behind on a bunch of this shit, so I'm going to quickly read. Hello to everyone I've missed. Prodigal Son, can we get a solo cup challenge? I mean, I guess we could do. I mean, I've never really been into the solo cup challenges. I'm also not a huge thing in terms of, unless it's a cannabis cup competition, I've never been one to do a challenge. There's nothing wrong with friendly competition in our industry, especially like, me and Gazzers, for example. When Gazzers moves here, man, it's like, it's on, man. It's like me and him, like, I'm like, yo, I'm going to grow you into the ground, Gazzers. I'm going to blow you into the water. My weed, I'm going to grow your weed better than you grow your weed. And he says the same thing back. And we're brothers. We're friends, and so that's fine in between things. I've never liked the idea of grow competitions, though, in terms of a solo cup challenge. I mean, I think it builds negative ideologies in the industry. I've always been kind of skeptical of these types of things, right? I mean, I would rather do a solo cup share and grow where we all grow the same thing, but like, you know what I mean? Just by participating, maybe you get something, and having fun with it. I don't want there to be like one winner where we then make everyone else feel bad about themselves. I mean, that really goes against my teachings. It goes against my views on the cannabis industry. That's why, like, kind of the only competition within the cannabis world, other than like personal competitions between me and other growers that I personally know and I've been growing against for years or I'm friends with, I'm not really a big fan of that. I don't think it builds camaraderie. I don't think it builds a positive environment. I think it really actually detracts from that. So we could do some form of a solo cup something. I don't want to call it a challenge or a competition, though. That just kind of goes against the very nature of what we're trying to fight as the Potsquatch Growers Army within our industry. The only competition I'm okay with is Cannabis Cup and showing up and kicking everyone's ass and winning everything, you know what I'm saying? That one's fine. That one's fine. I like the Weed Olympic a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, show up to Grow Olympics. Like, who is the best grower? Like, who is the best breeder? Like, what are we doing now? That I can get behind that, That one I'm okay with. But that's why we've never really done a competition of sorts in the community, because I really find it detracts from what I'm trying to build and what we are now trying to build together, all of us, as our community, as our international movement. We are an international organization. 6 out of the 7 continents of the world have Potsquatches on them. And what we're trying to do is change the face of modern day cannabis and to revisit what the culture used to be. We used to all be on the same team. We used to all work together and lift each other up. We used to share and care and grow. That is not how the industry works now. There's so much arrogance, so much ego, prick-waving bullshit, condescension, shitting on people, and I'm like, you know what? That's so against everything I'm about. So that's why we've never done that, and I don't think we will. We could do like a Soul Cup fun, kind of a share and grow, maybe, of some sort, But like, for example, right? Like, we do giveaways, and for example, how we're doing the giveaway this summer, the biggest seed giveaway in the history of weed. No one's ever done what we've done. We're about to do. We're going to be giving away more seeds than anyone's ever given away to as many people. 106 winners, everybody. There's going to be 106 people that win. And That's pretty crazy, in my humble 2 cents, if you don't mind me saying. And all you have to do is get questions right that I come up with and our moderators have come up with. So it's not a competition against others per se. It's a competition with yourself and your dedication to try to answer the questions, go through the old videos and find the answers, and then time. At the end of the day, that's more along the lines because we want to help lift everybody up. I don't want to segregate or show like, oh, you win, good job, go you, you're the best, this, that. We don't need to feed each other's egos. Okay, ego is different than confidence. Being confident is a good thing, but ego, arrogance is not something that has a place in cannabis, my humble 2 cents. So that's why we're doing our giveaway that way. The biggest seed giveaway in the history of cannabis, and it's not a competition against each other, it's a competition against yourself and time, basically. And those questions will be coming out in the next week or two. I've just been so busy. I meant to kind of get them out already, but it's just, I got to kind of take a day to sit down, come up with them, and then confer with the moderators, and then sort of finalize the list of questions we'll be going forward with, and then we'll get that shit out. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me play catch up here real quick. What's up, Red Claws? And anyone I've missed, saying hello to, by the way, hello. What's up, Pot TV? Much love to you as well. Bear with me here, everybody. I'm just reading. Well, Family Trees Grow Coast, I mean, we're not against investors at all. We are open to investors and investment and trying to help us achieve certain goals. There's actually a number of products right now that realistically could require investment. One being the farm, to further expand our ability to launch the genetics line to go fully legal on a craft cannabis sense here in Canada. The television show is actually the one we're really looking for investment right now. We've been in pre-development for that for a little over 4 years, and we're ready to shoot. We're ready to shoot, man. We basically just need to go into a pre-production period, which would be roughly about a 6-month period for us to get everything ready, and then we would be able to shoot season 1. But that's kind of one of the things, really, Family Trees Grow Coast, that we're very excited about. Either shooting a pilot and then using that to then develop the rest of the investment requirement. We basically need $3 million, and that's not US. We budgeted 3 million Canadian to shoot this, and with 3 million Canadian invested, we can make the sexiest first season of a weed show you've ever seen. But at the end of the day, that's one of the big things requirement that we're looking for. The other would obviously be the farm and getting the farm acquired and built and going from there. But we're always open to these concepts, my friend. We're always open to these concepts. Family Trees Grow Coast, you don't necessarily have to be in Canada to be an investor. We do a lot of business in the States. Most of season 1, if not all of season 1 of our show is actually shot in America, so we will be shooting in America. Episode 1 is shot in Texas. It really has, Pot TV, hemp-based or CBD-based cigarettes. I call them cigarettes because they're built the same way, but it's only hemp. There's no nicotine, no tobacco in there. Not only have they helped people switch off of tobacco, they've been a really great thing for a lot of uses, right? So I think it'll be a product that not only will do well and do a lot of good, it's kind of fun too. And for me, like, I don't smoke anymore, but I will smoke hemp or cannabis. And so for me, at the end of the long, hard day, I enjoy me a nice little hemp cigarette, Ooh, yes, oh, nice. And Miss Potsquatch Level 2. I know Big Mikey Texas Squatch is pretty excited about that one as well. Einstein, hello to you. I'm also, Einstein, not only am I employed running my own company, I'm also the head chef of a brewery. Not unemployed. Many of us actually work. And many of us, too, are on disability, which in my mind, that's not being unemployed. That's called having a differently abled life and working and fighting for a good quality of life. You know what I'm saying? So, be a little bit more sensitive, Einstein. But good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. I hope Sweden is treating you well. What's up, Prodigal Son? What's up, Marky? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Astro Clone Wolf? I think I already said that, but hello to you again. All right. But see, that's why I'm not going to call it a challenge, though, Return to the Mac. It's not a challenge, because a challenge is a competition. It could be a solo cup, share and grow. I'm willing to do that. So Reverend Veritas, this is a Vupu Argus Pro. They do have another version of this which has a removable battery, which I actually think is a slightly better option on these. This one's got a built-in battery, but this is a Vupu Argus Pro that I'm using, that I use to quit smoking tobacco. The juice I'm using is 20 milligram nicotine salt from, they call it the Orchard. It is kind of like a green apple pear kind of a taste. Well, prodigal son, let's talk about that, trying to quote unquote get discovered. No one's going to discover you other than your audience, okay? Let's talk about, for a moment, building a channel, building a brand, building awareness in the cannabis industry. So that's where I'm going to go there for a moment. Oh, thank you for 4 months of membership, by the way, Ganjanana, your mom. I love you. You're a sweetheart. Thank you so much. Oh, you gotta go. Okay, well, prodigal son, I was just about to talk your stuff, but Pod TV, Dana Larson has given out many seeds over the years through Overgrow Canada. That was done as an extended period of time and never done as a singular giveaway, so therefore kind of a different thing. Dana Larson's giveaway was done over many, many moons and done as an ongoing mission, which is pretty cool. It was never done as a singular kind of fun little competition for the community to celebrate something. And at the end of the day, most of those seeds were basically hemp. They weren't high quality, high punching seeds. So I would beg to differ, but again, our difference of opinion on that's it's more of a semantical one, I would say, because most of what went out in Overgrow Canada was not cannabis, it was hemp. I even have some of them, I've tested them, and it was not weed, it was basically hemp. But again, I loved it, though. I loved the concept, I loved the work, I loved the commitment to the program Dana did on Overgrow Canada. So, I'm not saying that in a negative sense. I love and respect it. What we're talking about, though, is giving away hardcore seeds, and we're also giving away singular super prize packs, 6 of them, to 6 lucky winners, as well as 100 prize packs that will go to others as well. These will be genetics that not only are fire, these will be genetics that you can use to breed. These are genetics that can serve you for the rest of your life. You can also breed with the silly things. Breeding stock, not just hemp. But again, that's just my slice on it, okay? Giving seeds over a period of time doesn't count. That's just an ongoing life mission, which is a little different in my mind, but I respect the hell out of it and think it's beautiful. I'm not a big fan of Advanced myself, Prodigal. I think they're overpriced, but long story short, Prodigal son, to go back to what I was just referencing, if you're still here, in terms of building your brand, is the biggest thing is it takes time. For me, I'm not even that big. I think where we're big is that we are very international. We are known around the world in a way that a lot of other pot channels aren't, because of how we built our community, our international community. The thing I can share, the number one thing, or the number set of things that I would say is important in terms of building a brand, don't be afraid to be you. Okay, being yourself and being real with people, that's what's going to bring people in to see stuff. That's what's going to bring people into your reality. People at home are big detectors of bullshit. Human beings don't like bullshit, but they do like something real. They do like something tangible that they can relate to and connect to. So find your niche, find your caricature, find your you-ness, find your style and how you want to do it, and stick with it. Stay consistent. The number one thing to growing a brand and growing a YouTube channel or on anything really is consistent content regularly coming out. So that's a big one there. And at the end of the day, have some fun with it, right? Having a bit of a thing, for me being an actor and a comedian, being all weird and this and that, blah, 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 and opinionated, but this, that. This is just me. On the show, I'm just a toned down version of who I really am deep inside and publicly in my personal life. So that, for me, was a really big component, I think, to growth and growing my brand and my channel, to be honest. And have fun with it, too. Don't sweat the small stuff. And also, one of the big things I think is that I was one of the only channels that really interacted with people. I email people. I personally call people a lot. I do these shows where I actually talk to a lot of you, right? That was oh, thank you very much, Felicia Casper, Skimpy Limpy. Thank you very much, sister. That was a big thing, Prodigal Son, too. It took me a little over a year to hit my first 100 subs. Like, it was really slow going, and that's me releasing basically at least one video a week, if not more. It was a very hard thing to get to an initial point. The first real milestone, I think, for any YouTuber, especially in our cannabis world, okay, is that first 100. That first 100 is really hard to do, okay? Family Trees Grow Co. Seaman may give away a bunch of seeds, but they're not doing what we're doing. We're literally giving away thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of seeds in one singular giveaway. 106 people will be receiving a lot of that. And, so at the end of the day, I totally respect that other people giving seeds away as well, right? Like, what we're trying to do, though, is do a giveaway that's never been done quite the way we're doing it, and it's never been done in the volume we're doing it as a singular one-day giveaway event. And even the basic prize packs, you're going to get 35 beans. That's right. 3 photo regular strains, 10 of each, plus you're going to get 5 of the auto flowering from Death Trap Genetics, which is Texas Squatch's little genetic brand out of Texas there. But long story short, I'm distracting myself. Oh, here's the dogs losing their shit upstairs. I don't know if you could hear it, but man, they're losing. What was I saying? About growing channel stuff and this consistency. I don't know. My brain lost it, everybody. But let's play catch up to everything. I agree, Pot TV. I wholeheartedly agree. Bear with me here, everybody. I'm just playing a quick catch up here. We'll see. And Prodigal Son, that'll help you in the contest, because a lot of these questions are going to be based out of older videos of how we're doing it. So you're going to have to kind of answer that. Prodigal Son, do I need to show my face? I would say eventually, yes. Bringing your face out. I didn't show my face for a number of years. A lot of people freaked out when they found out I was white. They thought I was not white. And then they found out I was white. And they were like, wait, you're white? And I was like, I'm sorry, everybody. I don't mean to let you down. It's still me, though. But, you don't have to at first if you're not comfortable with it. But I do think eventually showing your face, at least as a cannabis content creator, to be a cannabis brand, a cannabis relatable person, it is important to eventually break that third veil and show your face. And that's a big thing, in my humble 2 cents. Jansen Dennis says, Potsquatch, what do you think about there's little seedling growing in my back lawn? I'm digging them up tomorrow to veg out in my 4x4. I say that's great. I mean, Jansen Dennis, that often happens. I know that Gazzers and Texas Squatch especially regularly keep finding these random, like, I just found this random weed plant in my backyard. I'm like, hey, go for it, do it. It's a good way to do it. And I agree, Ms. K. Growing your channel takes years. It takes years. It doesn't happen overnight. Things that can happen overnight or fairly quickly in a number of months is you can kind of go, like, let's say you hit 1,000. And you kind of keep chugging along, and then all of a sudden, boom, in a month, like maybe you gain like 1 or 2 or 3,000 subs. That happens. Like our main explosive rate was we got to about 1,000. It was kind of slow for a bit. Then boom, all of a sudden we were at 3 or 5. Then boom, I was at 20. And that happened pretty quickly. That big jump there. And then now it's real slow going. But again, that has more so to do with the YouTube algorithm and sort of how we've run our brand of calling reality, calling bullshit, being honest with people. I personally, as the Potsquatch, have received a lot of death threats over the last 6 years. Some from big companies, some from other individuals. Stop giving away industry secrets. Well, one, I'm not giving away industry secrets. I'm just kind of making information accessible. It's not like, and one, the secrets I am giving away are techniques I developed. So you can go rotate. If I want to tell someone how to do something that I invented how to do it, go fuck yourself. I'm happy to do so. And at the end of the day, I live in hope. You want to come take me out? Good fucking luck. Come get me. So at the end of the day, don't be afraid to piss people off. Don't be afraid of trolls. Trolls mean you're doing something right. At the end of the day, standing for something, standing for what is real to you, what is important to you in your heart. That is one of the biggest things about building a brand, about building a company, about building a movement that means something in this industry, and any industry for that matter, quite frankly. People are diverse on this planet, but we're all fairly good bullshit detectors. That's that animal part of us, that hard wiring there. And this is just sort of my humble 2 cents on this, obviously, but it's based out of my experience and years doing this. Jolly Wally says, greetings. What do you think about Roots Organic Turp Teas, the powders? I picked up a few bags. I'm going to give them a whirl for my new run. I actually haven't played with their product. I know that a few of my friends quite enjoy them. I have not myself played with Roots Organics Turp Tea powdering products. I've heard good things. I've heard things, as in not bad, but maybe not as much to write home about as one would hope. So at the end of the day, I would say go for it, because I've never had the chance to play with them, so I say go for it, brother. What's up, Aussie Jeffo? Much love and respect to you as well. Back to Queensland, Australia. Well, thank you, Jansen. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading real quick and trying to absorb everyone's shit and comments and stuff into my brain so I can respond to all of it. I'm just joking. I can actually do this. Bear with me for a second. Prodigal Son, everything we will be giving away is a photo except for the autos that come from Mikey. Mikey, he's donating auto flowers from Death Trap Genetics. Hell yeah, King Forge Casting. I dig it. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm really hoping we're getting to a world where socially, we don't keep demonizing and treating cannabis as such a weird thing, and just sort of allowing it in. Obviously, certain jobs I get to a point, maybe it being a thing, but I personally disagree with it still. We were actually kind of touching about that loosely yesterday, kind of at the end of the show with O'Shea, about like heavy machine operators and stuff like that. We let these guys, you can go get drunk, be super hungover, show up to work like a piece of shit, and like, oh, that's fine. We're not worried about that, when that's actually something that's dangerous. But if you smoke some weed and we're like all concerned about that, it doesn't make any damn sense. It also contradicts most of the research that we've done. I'm just absorbing, by the way, everybody. No, Jansen Denson, I think I'm at about 216 over the last 6 years. Usually just comes in forms of emails, really. I've received a few letters occasionally. But, different sort of things. Every time I get some form of death threat for what I've been doing in the industry and standing up, it's really, for me, like kind of a badge of honor. I'm like, hell yeah, we're doing something right. We're on our mission. We're doing what we care about. They all should be threatened, because my company's going to keep growing. My company's going to diversify. We're going to start doing pretty much almost anything related eventually in the long run to cannabis. So if there's a shortcoming in an industry, enjoy your heyday now while you can overcharge people and rip people off and build bullshit or charge too much for it, because I'm coming to change it. I'm not going to stop. The whole industry is going to change over the next 15 years, and we're going to be a big part of why that's happening. There's also a number of other companies who see very like-minded to the way I view things. They are allies. We are a movement. We are going to take our industry back, and we are going to build our industry into the way it once was, or in the way that almost was and was on its way there before it all became a bunch of ego prick waving and condescension and shitting on everyone, etc., etc., etc. Okay, like we're coming. Watch out. Ooh, cotton candy kush. Now, I have a question, Eric Grant's Artistry. Is that cotton candy kush having some sweet notes to it? What does it smell like? I'm excited. I'm very curious. I think I've almost caught up. If you're talking about my lineage, as in I was a Scottish guy, I am, genome-wise anyway, over 50% Scottish. The rest of me is Irish English, Welsh, German, and a big chunk of Viking in there, so Swedish and Norwegian. But yeah, anyway, I like to drink scotch. I also enjoy scotch. I prefer typically though more of a blended Scotch whiskey rather than a single malt because most of them I find too peaty and they're kind of gross. But that's just me. That sounds sexy, Reverend Very Tough. What's up, JP Page 2? Good to see you. All right. Ooh, nice. I like a good pink kush. I am part Swedish. This is true, Einstein. This is very true. It tripped me out when I found it out, but this is very true, my friend. The funny part about me finding out I was part Swedish was the day I bought a Volvo. Later that day, I got my genetic report in, and it's like, oh wait, you're part Swedish. All right. Tasty. Oh, okay. So you're still vegging though. Okay, cool. So Eric Grant's artistry, the fact that they're having any form of smell during veg is a very exciting thing. I'm very happy for you. That's always a good sign. That's one of the things that when something starts to reek in veg, that for me is one of those sort of attributes, one of those little things I'm looking for of something being special. So that's very exciting. Keep me in the loop in terms of what ends up happening as they flower out, though. Well, in Prodigal Son, that's the way to be. Information is meant to be set free. The number one reason that started what has become all of our company, our international movement, everything we do now, started with me drinking beer, getting mad, smoking a doobie at the internet, and all the misinformation, all of the egos, all of this, and people not supporting each other and shitting on each other. So I called Mrs. Potsquatch. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sickened by what I see on YouTube by so many channels now. I mean, it was hard enough when I was a kid teaching myself to grow, let alone now with not only the misinformation, but what this weird toxic culture has become associated with our people. I was like, well, like, maybe I'll start a YouTube. You think I can start a YouTube? She's like, you got a cell phone. That's all you really need, to be honest. Just do it that way. Go grassroots and just do it. Share your thing. So I never thought anyone would watch our show. I didn't think anyone would tune in. I didn't think we'd become a company. I didn't think we'd become a lighting brand, a CBD line, a genetics line. I didn't think we'd become an international movement of people living in a lifestyle in the ways of a Potsquatch. It didn't start off with that as ever the mission or the goal. My main mission was to provide, in my humble 2 cents, a place to access knowledge and to learn in a safe environment where you're not going to be criticized or ridiculed or shit on or, mistreated, where you're safe to be a noob or you're safe to be even advanced, but then learning other things. It was a safe place for people to come together and learn at least what I have in my head. I genuinely didn't think anyone would watch, and it took us almost over a year to get to the first 100 subs. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. We're at like 100 subs. Like, that's crazy. 100 people watch us, and it's become so much more than that. It has evolved organically and naturally, like a land race, on its own as we've been doing things, and it's been really cool, and it's been such a humbling experience for me, and something I'm so proud and honored to be a part of. With all of you. And I really do think we are making great strides at reclaiming our industry, at reclaiming the way that things can be. We got to remember, we're on the same team, all of us. We don't need to be competing with each other in a negative way. There's nothing wrong with friends competing, as I was sharing earlier, but, we are the Weed Titty people. We are one nation, built out of all the world's nations. We are humanity. We are the Potsquatches. And the sooner we can embrace that, accept that, that's when things will get very interesting in our industry. Imagine what would happen if instead of competing with each other and hating on each other, what would happen if we built the industry together, worked together, developed things together, worked as a homogenous, well distinct individual unit right? Not forcing people to do things one way, bring all of our different trade secrets, all of our wonderful little things, and making them known, developing them, and standing together as a beautiful mosaic of the representation that is the cannabis community, which is all the people from all over the world who love this plant and the things you can make out of it. I mean, that's a future I'm willing to work for. That is a future that I would die for. That is a future I'm willing to spend my life toiling away fighting for. That is what this industry, this community, we as a people on this bloody planet are meant to be. And that's above cannabis. It's not just cannabis. We, the human fucking race, these ape-like beings on a third rock from a sun, in a minor galaxy, and an even more minor part of it on the outer edge. That's what we're supposed to be. Not a bunch of dipshits prick-waving and shitting on each other and hurting each other and standing in the ways of each other, but working together. Accepting each other. Seeing what could happen if we team up. Seeing what could happen if we move past greed and ego, jealousy, narcissism, and just be. Smile, exist, have fun. That, to me, my friends, is the cannabis industry. To me, my friends, that is the human bloody fucking race. We got a lot of hard work to do. It might take us a couple 100 years to get there. Not just in the cannabis industry. I'm talking big picture now for the human race. But that's a dream worth fighting for. That's a dream worth living for. That's a dream worth working for. I'm done on that one. But, I mean, thank you for listening to my little preachy moment there. But on my mother's side, maybe Einstein. On my father's side, my grandmother's German. Well, half German, half something else. But so maybe on my mom's side. But also that's also where all the Scottish and Irish, for the most part, came from too. So it's hard to tell. According to the family Einstein, no one thought we were Swedish or Norwegian. There was no Viking in there. So when I found out there was some Viking in my genome, I was a little shocked. I was like, wait, what? This goes contradictory to everything I learned. But then again, if you look at how the old Viking peoples raped and pillaged and made their way through Europe and the rest of the world, it makes sense that there's maybe some hidden gem in everyone's genome at different places of being a little Viking. But, you know. Bear with me here. I'm just playing catch up here. But see, prodigal son, don't do anything you do to be acknowledged. You don't do it because you have this need to be accepted or make it. Making it is a relative term. Making it can mean 1,001 different things to someone else. Do it because you love it, and do it because even if you help one person, that's enough. That's how I started. That's how I still do it. I mean, I've helped more than one person now, but I mean, like, to me, helping one person, that's how I started. I even said to my wife, if I could help one person with my life's work and share the joy and excitement of what I love in doing, that's enough. Don't do it for acknowledgement. Don't do it for elation. Don't do it for the award or this or that. Do it because you care. Do it because it's something you love and you just want to share something you love with others. That's the way forward, man. You know? 100%, bro. Johnny to Tsunami, website's not down. Which website are you talking about? Potsquatch Sales is running right now, as is Potsquatch Growers. Unless my computer guy's taking it down just to implement something, but... Okay, 1 second. Thank you very much, Roman Reckless, by the way. Thank you so much, bro. Johnny Tsunami, I have the most secure website on the internet that is essentially almost an unhackable. I have a website. Potsquatch Growers will take you to Potsquatch Sales. It's potsquatchsales.com. Soul Strip builds our lights. They're our partners. We will eventually buy Soul Strip and absorb their company into mine. Brett, you know I'm coming for you. And we've talked about this a bunch of times. But the websites are all up, everybody. What's up, Alvin? Good to see you. By the way, I'm just catching up here, everybody. Give me a second. Oh, 100% mud swat. Just be conscious to flip and train her out and down and out and knuckle her out, and that'll reduce your stretch. Or if you want to go scrog, go scrog. It's a way to kind of reduce height as well. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just trying to play catch up to a point where I'm actually like not. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm gonna grab a beer. 1 second, everybody. Also, I'm gonna take a quick leak. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. I'll be back. We're almost back. I'm almost back. All right. And we're back. Thank you for your patience, everyone. This bud's for you. Mud swat, the only real way to have a flower occur at 18.6 is with an auto. Or something that has like a triple diploid genetic or some form of that, which then exhibits as, even though it doesn't have any ruderalis-based genetics, but then it kind of gets all funky and weird and can flower that way. Basically, on a traditional photo, though, you're going to require a certain base amount of time in order to develop the amount of actual hormone, flowering hormone in there to get it to trigger into development. I'm a big fan these days of not doing 12-12. Everybody also share that I find like the extra 2 hours of light on isn't actually beneficial. I'm getting just as much, if not greater, weights by doing 14 off, 10 hours on, and it's also a way to reduce cost. That's what we did in the last run. So 14 hours off, 10 hours on, and you will be beautiful. Hey, I love that, Miss K's Garden. And it's a good, effective way to do it. Einstein, we can read your messages. Ganjanana has removed a few of your messages just because, as you are sometimes, you're just being cheeky. And again, everyone, Einstein has always been classically cheeky for many, many moons. Okay, so Ganja, it's okay. We don't need to delete them right now. Please don't swear. Be respectful is the main thing, Einstein. You can be cheeky and have some fun. It's okay. What's up, Shay Ferreira? Welcome to the show. I'm sorry I stole your lighter. Yes, these days I do 14-10 mud swat. That is a new change. I only did it on the most recent grow, but Gazzers is doing it now too. It's one of the things that a lot of the inner sanctum kind of Potsquatch moderators have started doing on photos is actually we can cut down our power costs by going 14-10. Remember, lights off is when actual photosynthesis is actually happening. Okay, we're storing energy to be converted into energy through lights on. But I find, especially with the high-intensity discharge lighting systems we're using now, like these LED lights and all of this stuff, really a 14-10 is kind of this magic number. It's going to reduce your production costs a little bit, and it actually almost seems to be more effective, in my humble 2 cents. Oh, man, dude, I remember using ultraviolet lights for that. I actually find that ultraviolets, though, can degrade certain things so off those old-school bulbs, so, you know, for me, until we get to the par rating of the sun, which is on average about 2,600 par, A lot of these other secondary things are a little bit more bells and whistles, to be honest. That's my own humble 2 cents, right? But until we get there, it's kind of superfluous. Yeah, no, Eugene Dolan, electricity is going up, cost of production is going up, cost of everything in this world is going up. Inflation is real, very real. So anything we can do to reduce the cost of our grows is very important. And why I did that last run was to see how much can I kill my power bill. I did that whole run, and instead of having an $800 to $1,000 power bill, I got my power bill down to $385. I only ran 3 double squatches. I only ran 10 hours on and 14 hours off. I also then raised the number or the temperature of where my AC kicks in. I ran at slightly higher temperatures, lights on. Okay. Which then also switching to smaller pots gave off less relative humidity into the environment, which then reduced the work my dehumidifier had to do, which also then therefore reduces the power consumption of that. And at the end of the day, the real thing there was that it was just zapping power. My dehumidifier, when she kicks on, I think she's going up to almost 8.1 amps, right? Which is some considerable amperage, you know what I mean? What's up, Jeremiah Sanchez? Welcome to the show. What's up, UK Flower Power? But yeah, so long story short, I mean, there's a lot of little tricks that we can do, everybody, right? So what does cheesy mean, Josh? Well, cheesy, if we're talking cannabis related, cheesy in terms of cannabis is a subsect of cannabis, owing much of its lineage to the original skunk, and it smells cheesy. If you haven't had a real cheese, there's not much of a way to really describe it to you. Would I say that cheesiness or cheese smells like actual cheese? Maybe, kinda. I think it's close enough to some of the weird fancy cheeses you might try to where we've likened it to a cheesiness, you know? But a proper cheese stinks. It's one of the stinkiest cannabises around, which makes sense if it, given that from the lineage. And he said, "No, you called me cheesy." No, I didn't call you cheesy. I believe I called you. Oh, come on, brain. I just said this. Cheeky. I didn't say cheesy. I said cheeky. Thank you, Reverend. I called you cheeky. What does cheeky mean in terms of a definition? Kind of having a bit of an off-ball humor, maybe kind of poking at certain things that are a little sensitive to people, pushing the line, pushing a little bit. You know what I mean? That's what cheeky, to be cheeky. Like, I'm a cheeky devil, you naughty lady. You're cheeky, and I truly believe what you bring to the community is yourself, and I think you're just having fun and being yourself. And there are days where even I maybe find you slightly. No, be nice now, Staggering Productions. Be nice. Cheeky can be funny, but your cheek, or to be cheeky, your cheekiness may not necessarily be funny to many. And I think that's what's happened today. Sometimes Einstein, okay, occasionally your cheekiness is not appreciated by others. And I know you. I know how you are. You've been around in our show for years and years and years. But at the same time, you got to remember, though, too, right? Everybody has a welcome place to feel comfortable and safe. And so sometimes you can go maybe a smidge too far. Not necessarily for me, once in a blue moon, maybe, but like for others watching too. So we've always got to be mindful and respectful of each other, right? That's something that's missing from the cannabis industry. It's something that's so important. You know what I mean? And so respect and awareness of how we come across to others. And even though we don't necessarily mean to come off one way, doesn't matter. If other people are experiencing us this way, that is something we need to be mindful of as conscientious, compassionate, caring, considerate individuals on this planet living with others. But anyway, we'll move on from that. UK flower power, that happens sometimes too. Sometimes things come out wrong. Sometimes we inadvertently put our proverbial boots in our mouths, and this is not a crucifiable thing. We are human. These things are real. We make mistakes. Do you think I, as a cheeky black sheep, son of two priests, who's a dope growing actor, writer, comedian, filmmaker, who grew up watching George Carlin, has never upset someone? Ha! I've certainly done it. Sometimes I'm not going to apologize. I upset you for a reason, to make you think. There's a reason I went there. But sometimes I inadvertently do so, and then I'll own that and apologize. Hell yeah, prodigal son. You clone away. What's up, Bubba Dank? Welcome to the show, buddy. Yeah, no, Jeremiah, the phone died yesterday. Yeah, so Jeremiah Sanchez, my phone died because my new phone is super duper powerful. I've got the new Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra 512. It seems to zap the battery a little bit harder than my Samsung S20 Ultra 512 that I had. So going to the show, we had 54%, and I was like, oh, that'll be enough for at least an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. It was not. And so the phone died. And because of how power hungry even starting this phone up is, I kind of have to leave it plugged in for a while before it'll even turn on. So we weren't able to reclaim the show and try to pick up the stream. It just didn't work. That's why I kind of hopped back in and kind of tried to type really quickly to everybody. I was like, okay, this is going on. We're sorry. I did not realize that how strong this bloody phone is and blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's all good, Jansen Dennis. It's all good. Jansen, if I was upset about it or felt the need to bring it up or re-say anything other than I already have, I would have. All is good in the hood, baby. I had a feeling you were just maybe a little drunk, a little high, a little excited. That's all. What's up, Mac Messi? How you doing, Mike? Yeah, you know, and O'Shea, I had a lot of fun with you on the show yesterday too. It was a lot of fun having you on the show and just sort of shooting the shit and going from there. Oh, wait a minute, it's not tomorrow. It's in a week later. A week from tomorrow, we're going to be on FCPO2's channel again. I believe it's the Cannabis for Breakfast show they do on Tuesdays. So it's not tomorrow morning. I got to do this one. So Greg, if you're watching, I'm good for training tomorrow. We can train tomorrow. It'll be the next following Tuesday that I have to do that show. So a week from tomorrow, everybody will be on the Cannabis for Breakfast show with FCPO2. Yeah, channel. Big shout out to London Nero and all as well. But yeah, so I'm glad I checked on that one because I couldn't remember if it was tomorrow or the next week. I mean, he's like, oh, I sent you an invite. I probably should have checked that for the date, but I'm so busy right now doing all these different things and it's sundry items, right? So. What's up, Crispy Chris? How you doing, buddy? From what I can tell from your tiny, tiny little picture, you also have a nice, beautiful beard. Welcome, my fellow bearded brother. All right. So one of the exciting things, though, everybody, is that we're going to be doing the Galactic Citrus Sheep, as I shared earlier in the show. I got to get those sprouts planted. They've gotten huge. Some of them are like this long. They're like this thick on like the bottom initial rootlets coming out of their main top root. And it's like, I should have planted them days ago, but that's all right. Again, we're pheno watching. What will happen? Right? So after the show today, I'm going to quickly try to crank out just planting those silly girls and getting those planted. And then I'll rush back to the brewery there to kind of get some stuff done a little bit towards the launch of the new menu. And I've got a big photo shoot for the new menu coming up on Friday. So I basically got in $2,000 worth of food today. Beef brisket. We brought in more pork butt. All the things I need to do all the things. So I'm getting everything ready, trying to get ahead of the 8-ball, quote unquote. Where doth ye hail from, Crispy Chris? I also like your name. It's fun to say, Crispy Chris. Good time, man. Yeah, so JP page 2, 1311 is great. 1410 is kind of where I'm at, and but 1410 for me is sort of my happy place these days, and it's fun. Oh yeah, O'Shea saw them, everybody. O'Shea saw them yesterday. I was supposed to plant them yesterday. I didn't get around to it, so they're probably even bigger now. But yeah, some of these taproots are like it's crazy. So, but it's a good sign to see that the galactic citrus Shiva is proven to be pretty strong. Yeah, you know. Prodigal son. I've been a 12-12 guy my whole career. It was only the last run that I changed it for the first time in over 20 years. And if anything, I found my yield was the same, if not almost bigger. And I also say that the power consumption reduction on that is huge. It is worth it. 1410 is the perfect way to grow inside of my humble 2 cents. Excuse me. Hey, light bright, peace and love. I'm so glad you were able to make the live stream show again for the first time in a while, Light Brighton. So thank you for tuning in, buddy. And much love, and we will talk to you soon. See, there you go. See, that's an appropriate cheeky, Einstein. There's a good ganja. No, your mother, you must do a drink. Not just from the bottle. See, that's cheeky, but that's like respectful cheeky, and it's not offensive. It's just having fun. So that's like good cheeky. You know what I'm saying, Einstein? Right? But I hope this is making sense of the definitions of reference in that. Yeah, so 1200 ppfd, that's still pretty decent there, bud. Like you're still doing decent. We're a little higher than that on our rigs, but at the end of the day, 1200 ppfd. Even though you're not quite doing what our rigs do, that's still enough to kind of do it. In my humble 2 cents, I think the fact is you're at 1200, you should be good. I think you're all right on that. Damn, prodigal son, 3,500. That's high even for me, and I'm one of the heaviest feeders anyone has ever seen. I remember the first time Caden Crooks from District Records came to my grow, and so I told him, I was like, "Yo, come over here and check out the way I feed," because he was running into some issues, and I was like, "Bro, like this is how I feed," and he's just sitting there, and he's like scared. He's like, "Whoa, you're putting that on your plans like that? That's a lot of feed." And I was like, "Yeah, bro, like, dude." Rock and roll, son. Cannabis to do a basic job does not require much at all. Okay. But to grow dank cannabis, to grow these things inside of what we're wanting to do, to get the numbers to where we want them to be, cannabis in and of itself in a generalized statement can almost eat as much as we want it to within reason. We just got to build it up to it and take our time to kind of get it there. Oh, Bubba Dank. I remember the first time I had to deal with spider mites. It was actually at the last lab because I lived in the city. I was like such a strict person in terms of the rules of my grow. And they snuck in. It happens. And, spider mites, once they set in, very mild when they first show up, super easy to get rid of, not hard. But if they get entrenched in any sense, they are a dick. And spider mites suck, but let's be honest, as much as they put webbing on our shit and they do rob a little bit, spider mites aren't that detrimental. They make your cannabis kind of look weird, and they do steal from our end result a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, they are one of those things where you could technically bud wash it and get rid of that and this or that, and it'll be okay. But at the same time, they're unsightly. It's scary. And when you start to see webbing, if you see any webbing at all, you have a fucking infestation. You can have spider mites and no webs. It's not that bad. But the second you start to see webbing of any sort on your plants, there's a lot of them. That is a true statement. Oh, no. And Einstein, I'm never, ever going to penalize you or get upset with you. I know that English isn't your first language. And let's be fair, English is a weird language. The way we do our grammar, the way we do a lot of it. I mean, it's a tricky thing. It can be tricky at times. It's very different than most European languages in terms of, especially grammar. Let's be fair. Different sounds, different things, and colloquial turns of phrase in English, especially going forward, especially in North American terms, or well, hell, in the UK. If you heard some of the South London people talk, it can be tricky to follow and to understand. And so Einstein, don't worry. I think often, sometimes Einstein, yeah. I think a big part of how people have misread some of your statements didn't have to do with your actual intention emotionally or intellectually. It just came off wrong. And the fact is, so much of communication is verbal and physical. Not necessarily the words we're doing, but our inflections to sound, the way our muscles or bodies move. And it's only about 10 or 11% in terms of the actual words we're using. I guess technically they call that verbal, but see, like, I don't want to do that because like verbal inflection is a completely different thing and has nothing to do with the words you're using. It's actually the tonality of the energy coming off you. So when we're typing, it becomes harder for people to quite follow certain things. So don't worry about that, Einstein. You know what I mean? Where do spider mites come from? Eggs. Spider mites are typically, Tony Clifton, though, why there's such a pest inside is they're very much attracted to high temperatures and dry environments, okay? So if you think about an indoor grow and how we're all kind of running them, it makes sense that they like to show up. Mac Mezzi, so how did you go about your germination would be my question, though. Did you do a 48-hour soak, then paper towel? That's how I do it. So yes, Damnienke, a male plant doesn't require a 12-12 to go into full flower or pollinate. So the males on a photo period, their sacs will open when they're ready to. So some male plants like that Kaitangata Canadian White Russian male that we had in that breeding tent, like it not only grew nuts in a exponential way, it produced pollen in an exponential way. It blew my mind. I was astonished to see the amount of pollen this silly plant was able to produce. So that'll happen. So typically, Gazzers had a trick to the males. Fuck. If he only was here, he was telling me, I'm trying to remember what his trick was. It basically had to do with stunting the male and slowing it down so that by the time we're ready, because you want basically 2 weeks of flower at least to really kick in and kick in heavily, where we've got a heavy amount of pistils and even flower formation before we introduce that male. That's going to increase or maximize our seed production. You know what I'm saying? Oh, nice. Bubba Dank, predatory. What did you get? Did you get like a predatory Cusimaris? It is generalized, but it's a fairly aggressive generalized predatory there. Some people can be into honey. I don't use honey because it's an antifungal, antibacterial. It's going to kill all your microcultures on a lot of stuff if you're not careful. I am more of a fan of using molasses as a sugar source myself. Honey is a great thing to use for cloning. I know a lot of guys swear by it. Prodigal Son, you can love it. I'm more of a molasses guy. I do use microzymes and other things in my grows, so I wouldn't use honey because honey's going to kill that. But that is just my style. That's Prodigal Son style. And again, there's a whoop, that was a good catch. There's 1,001 different styles and ways to approach things. You know what I'm saying, everybody? Yes, Ganjadana, you should not necessarily smoke a spider bite. I'm going to be honest. Are you going to hurt yourself smoking a spider bite? I don't think so. But at the same time, that's what a H2O2 bud wash is for. No, it's all right, Jeremiah Sandwich. Sanchez. I said sandwich. I'm sorry. I think I'm just hungry. You could smoke spider bites. It's not going to be desirable, everybody, but they're not going to hurt you. It's just going to become gross, really, maybe. But that's why we do a nice H2O2 wash on the end, and it'll be good. Bubba Dank, it happens to me like when we had those clones of our Hindu Kush, we gifted our Hindu Kush to a grow out of Mission, and then they sold me some clones back as well. But then their clones they sold me back came with not only thrips, but they also came with aphids, which was so much fun. The aphids weren't hard to beat, even though they got pretty bad at first. I was able to destroy them and decimate them so they didn't come back within about a week. I used Jake's All-in-One. Jake's All-in-One took care of the aphids instantly. The thrips, on the other hand, it was a battle. And that first grow here was so big and so jungly and out of control that we really had to kind of utilize some Q-Samaras mites and other things to kind of keep it under control. Prodigal Son, I'm not saying it's not working for you either. I'm just talking about what it actually does. Okay? Honey has antibacterial and antifungal properties, so it can be, when used too heavily, a negative aspect to some of the beneficial cultures that are going on within our soils. Okay? I'm not saying you can't use honey. I use it for certain things. I'll use it in veg occasionally. I use it for cloning. I find actually cutting my water with honey is a great natural way on an aqua cloner to not have all that weird goop grow. Also, I'll probably just do a couple of drops of bleach because it does it just as effectively. And really, at the end of the day, it's not really that dangerous. If it were, we wouldn't be utilizing a bleach solution in tissue cultures, cloning. But and that's just sort of the thing for me. But if you're someone who's not using a microzyme, if you're not really worried about the beneficial secondaries, you're just going with the straight heavy, feed, then yes, it's a great accessible sugar as well. It can do beneficial things. It's just talking about the generalized realities of certain things. Molasses, on the other hand, albeit high in nitrogen, so maybe not as good in mid to later flower as some like to think. I personally am not one to prescribe to using it too late. There are people who use it during their flush. I'm like, oh dear God, that's all you're going to taste. But that's a flavor element to it. It is having applications. It all depends on style and everything, right? So everyone, remember, every little trick, every little thing that we know has different applications to different styles and different environments, right? It's not about, there's no one way to do this. And again, I would encourage anyone at home who's learning to grow and expanding their knowledge to play around with things, play around with new techniques and have fun with it. That's the whole point. That's how we continue to grow as growers. Yeah, so ladybugs are great. They're on short supply. We couldn't even get any in Canada last season, so they're hard to get ladybugs. The one thing I will say about beneficial nematodes is they are great. They're not going to do anything on a spider mite, though. Spider mites are fully propagating on the plant material. They're not something that's following down into our soil and going from there. So anything that may fall down will be taken care of by the beneficial nematodes. Beneficial nematodes are better when it comes to something like a thrip, which is basically rupturing out of the plant's tissue and typically will drop down into the soil and propagate there and then come up after its initial larval stage. That will help a lot, but at the same time, they don't necessarily just fall down. So it's like nematodes aren't going to just take care of thrips. Nematodes, though, typically fungus gnat infestation, boom, perfect. It will eliminate that in 3 days with a heavy application. Nematodes are a great precautionary or preventative measure to be using. Beneficial nematodes are great. I love beneficial nematodes. But if you're using a product like Jake's All-in-One, remember, that's going to kill your nematodes too, right? So you got to be careful on how and what you're doing. Everything has its uses. Certain things can overlap or work together, and certain things can't. I mean, that's just part of learning. And that's part of the fun, right? Yeah, wash your hands. And to be honest with you, everybody, if you're outdoors, out and about, and you're in an indoor grow, change your clothes, have a shower. Things can travel in on your beard or your long hair as well, for those of you who either have a beard or long hair. Tony Clifton, they will get transported into your grow somehow. They can crawl in if there's not a hermetically sealed environment. They come in your clothes, they come in your beard, they can come in with contaminated soil, they can come in on anything. Hell yeah, and staggering you could totally do 24 hours. 48 hours is just kind of my way of doing it. It's what is kind of my happy place personally. Oh, Felicia Casper, Skippy Libby, Jake's All-in-One does kill spider mites, and it seems to kind of kill eggs, but if it's a heavy infestation, it will not treat that fully. Jake's All-in-One will be something you can use to stay on top of it, but in my experience, even with heavy applications, you are going to run into resurgences with them. And also, where you can technically use Jake's quite late in flower, you are damaging pistils and other tissues and other trichodes by using it in the heavy application that you would have to mix it up in order for it to work for heavy infestation. So it's a bit of this, bit of that, right? So you can maybe achieve this to a point, but then you're also going to be hurting this to that. And that's something you can ask Jake himself, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. I am close friends with him. If I wasn't using my phone for this, we could even call Jake and have him on the show. Maybe we'll bring Jake from Jake's All-in-One on the show. I'll ask him if he's down into that. Do they sneak in through windows? They can sneak in through windows. They can sneak in through pipes. Any form of gap or anything, they can find their way in. That is very much a real thing. Sorry, everybody, I'm just reading. Oh, dude, ladybugs, when you can get them, are great. My only thing is I don't like releasing ladybugs inside because they begin to propagate, and then they can sneak into your air vents. If you don't have it sealed off, they can sneak off your house. Be very careful when utilizing ladybugs inside, as well as make sure they're ladybugs, not Asian lady beetles. Those can attack your pets. They actually prefer attacking your pets than the crap on the plant. So that's where Asian lady beetles, we're, yes, part of the same family, a cousin of the traditional ladybug of which we are all referencing. They will latch on and bite into the roof of your dog's mouth. You can Google it. You'll see some pictures. And the second you see what I'm talking about, you go, oh, dear God, no. So always be very careful when it comes to Asian lady beetles, everybody. Well, you'll have to send me a recipe, Roman. Yeah, no, the dogs upstairs are having their moments. And pretty much anyone who comes close to my house, the dogs flip out. Hell, sometimes they flip out and nothing's there. I mean, there's probably some ghosts or something, but I also know that the warning of my property, they can't really get much past sort of the initial edge of it. The bafflement on the door helps. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading. There is, and damn Yankee. Oh, now I understand the saying. Damn Yankee. I'm just having fun. But let me double check with Gazzers, because Gazzers, I'm struggling to remember what his trick was. He had a fun trick that I really quite liked. I remember liking it and respecting it too. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's actually a dope way to do it. I just can't for the bloody life of me remember what the hell Gazzers said. God damn it. Well, I have a tattoo on my ass. It's not a ladybug, but it is really fun, by the way, too. Watching ladybugs go to work. Like, if you have an infestation, you get a bunch of ladybugs, put them out and just sit there. Get your camera set up in such a way that you can kind of zoom in and just watch on the screen. It is so cool to watch them go. It is extremely exciting. I also agree, Miss K's Garden, that aloe is also very good for clones. Another thing you can create your own rooting hormone powder or liquid out of is the new growth in early spring from a weeping willow or any form of willow tree for that matter. Willows have a very high natural level of hormone for rooting there. So that's something you can make your own rooting hormone out of. And it's just a fun little trick to, utilize what's around you to make it work. What's up, Montes 420 Australia? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the show, baby. Eric Grant's artistry, my humble 2 cents, nothing's $300 an ounce good. The highest price that anyone should ever charge, and this is even pushing it in my mind, is about $220, maybe $230. And even I'm like, I would never charge $220 or $230. Probably the highest in this day and age or in the future I would ever charge for an ounce of weed indoor grown that's killer. And we're talking quads BC, like it's better than anything in the world. Maybe $1.80, $1.90 maximum. These days in Canada, depending on where you are, you're looking at anywhere from about $1 or about $100. And we're talking good shit, not, the best deal, but the best weed. Anywhere from 100, 120 up to maybe about $180. I agree, Roman. Cleanliness and having a system and a routine is quintessential to success. Wait, what? Jansen Dennis says, I think Potsquatch is the only dude that has teeth in the stock. I mean, I am missing a few teeth. But I do have some teeth left still. Sadly, in Canada, dental work is very expensive. It is a thing for the rich, not the normal people. I agree, Felicia. Predatory bugs in general are a hell of a lot of fun. I agree. Jansen, that was funny. Isopropyl alcohol can work, but you got to remember isopropyl alcohol is a very heavy industrial solvent. It is damaging the plant's tissues, your natural resin development, and all new growth when you use it. I would not suggest using isopropyl alcohol for anything on a living plant, regardless of veg or flower. Do not do that. That's my humble 2 cents. Excuse me. How far bloody behind am I now? Bear with me, everybody. I'm going to try to read quickly. Who knows? Maybe that's a new product, Prodigal Son. Yeah, so it's not rhubarb stalks, it's the rhubarb green. So great natural insecticide is if you've got rhubarb, I've got a big patch of it out back. You take the rhubarb greens and you create that, then you mix it with a bit of soap. The only thing I would add to that is a little canola oil. Canola oil, also a natural insecticide. And boom, it would be perfection. Jeremiah Sanchez, am I considered a Yankee? Only if you identify as one. Like, for example, Texas Squatch, he doesn't identify as an American or a Yankee. If you ask Texas Squatch, he goes, I am a Texan. Ganjanana, I won't show it the show, but if you want to see my ass, I'm happy to show you my ass tattoo in a private conversation. All right, send it to me in a link though, Roman. It's easier for me that way. Oh, hell yeah, Jansen. Sounds true, buddy. Hey, hell yeah, Visible Farms. That's also true. High levels of natural aspirin in willows as well. What's up, Bill Gore? How you doing, buddy? All right. Whew. Man, how far behind am I? Bloody hell. Einstein, if I could afford it, part of me would, but also for my acting career, I think I'd basically kiss it goodbye. But yeah. But I mean, these would look gold. I just get my fangs a little bit longer, you know. Gold in the back's fine. Nobody can see that shit anyway. I have had that happen once, Vic Victor. Probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. I didn't have it happen to me. It happened to, I think it was Dan. But he had like a two-headed plant come out. So it was a single taproot with two heads from seed. It was like one of those two-headed snakes. It was really, really quite cool. Yeah, I got to get some dental work done. But I'm gonna save what's there naturally, and then I'll get in some implants there. But when I can afford it, right now I keep put my money into keeping the house going and then growing the company. Yeah, so anything, Miss K, in the Willow family will have that as an actual thing. Just make sure you're taking the nubile growth parts, the new shoots. The new shoots is where you're going to find the most of it. Hey, you know what? Recharge. At the end of the day, I drink with my plants too. Do I give them a drink? No, but you know, I let them have some weed though. Hey, huge shout out to UK Gardens, everybody. That's for you, Jansen. Now, but Visible Farms, what does your soil like to drink though? You know, I mean, I've never fed my plants any liquor, but I think if they were to drink something, they'd probably want some whiskey or something, because that's what Uncle Potsquatch likes, and you know, they got the similar taste to their daddy. You know. Yeah, diluted maybe, Roman, but I mean, I'm always very nervous about that. You have to dilute it properly to make it work. Aaron, the brewery's going great. I'm going to be back there after I plant my stuff. I was going to hopefully work all day here in the lab, but as El Jefe of of their kitchen, I'm going to get back in there and do some more stuff today. But you know, I'm going to get those little babies planted quickly, get that done, and then probably head back there, bust out a few things. I have Streamlabs set up. I just don't like even though I spent $700 on fancy professional grade webcams, I hate how they read color. I hate their white balance. So do I have Streamlabs? Yes. Do I have the Pro? Yes. Do I like using it? No. Am I thinking about using the free StreamYards because it's much easier to actually bring people in? Probably. But we do have Streamlabs though, but I just don't really like it. That's also true, Jansen. Right now, for a liter of regular gas where I'm living is about 208, 209 right now at the pump. And they've told us the next week it's probably going to go up another 5, maybe 10 cents. So basically right now for premium, I think we're at 241, 242 a liter. Ooh. Nice. Well, see, that's the thing, Visible Farms. I should maybe talk to the brewery and be like, hey, can I pull out some of your mash when you're done with it and then use it for making, you know, etc. Michigander, how much do I make doing this? Doing what? The show? Fuck all. I'm lucky to get $100 to $200 from YouTube a month. But I make a lot more money through my company selling all the other products and stuff that I've released. So The show in and of itself may not directly make much money. I think my best month ever on YouTube was like 3 years ago before they started like penalizing us for being cannabis related. I think I did $285 Canadian from ad revenues. And we weren't doing memberships. This is actually all straight ad revenue that we got back then. So now most of our money on YouTube comes from donations, people making the show, and the memberships people pay. I mean, we do make a smidgen off ad revenue, but not much. Like 94% of my content doesn't have ads on it because YouTube really loves cannabis people. So. Well, you know, the funny thing is, Jansen Dennis, is it's not actually me doing a Mitch Hedberg. I'll go back to the thing in the day. Like, man, I did this voice, I did this thing. It was one of the things I used to do early on in stand-up, too. I had never heard of Mitch Hedberg years ago at the time. And so I was at this party, and people were like, oh, man, you did a good Mitch Hedberg. I'm like, fuck that. I don't even know who this prick is. He does good me. But yeah, no, but thank you though. I don't do impersonations. Like a lot of these characters that I do and a lot of the voices and caricatures that seem like they're pre-thought out or made, they're not. This is just what I do. I've been doing most of these characters since I was a very, very young child. You know, I've been training in acting as an actor and a stage actor and a film actor since I was maybe 2 or 3. Arts and science have always been my 2 biggest things. But you know, for me, I kind of say I do characters. I do characters that mean something to me, and to some they will register differently. Like some people will see an Eddie Murphy, while others will be like, "Oh my God, Robin Williams is back." So it's like everybody, you know, hears and sees their own little thing. But that was a true story. This one chick at this party, these are years ago. I was probably maybe like 17 or 18 at this house party, and they're like, oh man, like, you know, you do a mean Mitch Hedberg. I'm like, fuck that. I don't even know who that is. He's ripping me off. Like, yeah, I mean, Streamlabs is usable, but I actually find it kind of buggy. I don't find the user interface of Streamlabs very, very friendly, and the things that we really need aren't part of Streamlabs. So, like bringing other people into the show, we have to use a third-party system on Streamlabs to do that, and that's just dumb. Woo! Everybody, Not Luna's in the show. Not Luna is our computer master. That's right. Try to hack our website. Good luck. Ha! But 222 right now for a liter of regular in Van City, everybody. 222. And that's not premium. That's not mid-station. That is just the regular basic gas. 222 a liter right now. Yeah, Felicia, Jake's kills pretty much everything. So, especially when we're using it on those heavier doses, right? So anything more than like 10 milliliters a liter. Like, so like for me, like when I'm going heavy, I'm like at like a 35, 40 up to 65, which is even a little heavier than Jake, it's not his actual name, Jake himself would even recommend to use. So be careful. But I'm actually hoping I'm going to contact Jake's, and we're going to get that back on the website for everybody so you can all start ordering Jake's. Hey, thank you very much, Roman Reckless. I believe literally you're the one who's donated twice to the show today. Thank you ever so much, bro. I really, truly appreciate it, man. Yeah, and Return to the Map. We're not even talking. We're talking regular on unleaded. I don't even get me started on what diesel's costing here now. Diesel's higher. For the first time in my life, everybody, diesel costs more, okay, than regular gas. It's bloody crazy. Jeremiah Sanchez, you got to remember, we're talking liters here, brother. We're not talking gallons. So you got to times my prices by 4, basically. Well, technically 3.78 liters to a gallon, but we sell by the liter here, and most of the world does. America's one of the only imperial places. I think there's like 3 countries that do it. America and like 2 other small countries. But remember, we're paying more than you, Jeremiah. Canada, we've always paid more for everything, almost everything, than America ever has. So if this is not to make you feel bad for us or to feel bad about you being stressed out by the prices in your country, but America, if you think you're paying a lot for stuff right now, come check out Canada. Come check out Canada. Doesn't matter whether we're talking beer, gas, or pretty much almost anything else. We pay a shitload more than you do. Don't even ask us what our cell phones or internet go for here. Like, actually, just don't. You'll be depressed. Yes, it will also kill ladybugs. Jake's all-in-one, and how it works is it basically utilizes the canola base, which is an insecticide. It opens up all the porous nature parts of the bug, and then there's crustacean meals and other things that are going to go into that bug and fuck up its basically nervous system, everything. Bye, Ms. K! Oh, it's all good, Jeremiah Sanchez. You all good, baby. Thank you, Texas. What's up, man? Visible Farms Pilgor, I'm not surprised at all to hear you say that you've had to maybe stop playing with the cars as much. So have I. I just did a big tune-up and changed a bunch of things around in the Volvo engine. Ford, anything but regular gas right now. I normally only put premium in my vehicles, but I can't do it anymore. So, I'm putting a lot of header cleaner and fuel efficiency stuff into my shit, baby. Oh yeah, so MondaY's 420 Australia. The Canadian dollar's a little bit stronger than Australian dollar, so like we're well above that. Like 222 in Van City. I think right now probably like 207, 208 for a liter of regular. Premium's almost at 240 right now. It's nuts. I want a Tesla truck. I'm going away for my grow. I can afford it. I agree with Shea Ferrero. Jake's all-in-one is the bee's knees. Eugene Dolan. Henry Ford's first car, I do not believe... He did build a model that ran on a bioethyl alcohol, basically like moonshine made out of hemp. But it was not run on hemp. But it was about 64 to 67% hemp-based in terms of the structure, functioning, and elements to the car's build. Yeah, and that's just fucked, O'Shea. That's just fucked. That's true, Aaron Sherm, but you're going to get a decent F-150. But you know what? You might as well buy a Dodge or a GMC or a Chevrolet because, let's be fair, Fix or Repair Daily is what Ford stands for in my humble 2 cents. And yes, am I saying I don't like Fords? Yeah, I am. I am. I buy Dodge. I don't even care if the transmissions occasionally go finicky. I've never had an issue with any of mine. I've had friends who've had to redo their transmission on a brand new Dodge 3 times, but that's what warranties are for. And at the end of the day, I do believe some of the newer Dodges that are finally coming out have addressed, finally, the transmission issue. Is it sunny in BC, Squatch? In parts it will be. British Columbia is one of the most bipolar, all over the place weathers in the world. It's kind of fucked. Yeah, no, Henry Ford did an electrical vehicle. A lot of people did electric vehicles back in the day. The Japanese, I believe, were actually the first to ever make an electric vehicle. And the Japanese made an electric vehicle that had a range that was almost as good as a lot of the basic model ones now, like in the 40s or early 50s. Peace and love, Felicia. I gotta go soon too, babe. By the way, everybody, I gotta go back to work. I gotta plant my plants and then go back to work, but... No, I know. MondaY's 420 in Australia. The funny thing is diesel's actually much less refined gas, or a biodiesel's even almost a leftover. But yet, here it is costing the way it is. Part of why that though, isn't in terms of an actual sourcing or production cost. It has to do with the fact that, well, gas companies are greedy and they can do it because they all work together. Like, oh yeah, let's just charge this, and it's basically what the world runs on. So hey, maybe I should get in the gas game. What do you guys think? Jansen Dennis? Well, one, it's a grow channel, but it's my channel. I can talk whatever the fuck I want about. I'm going to talk about literally. I've done shows having nothing to do with cannabis. This is my channel. I will do whatever the hell I want. If it's your channel, I won't presume to tell you what to do. And you're my bro, okay? But I'll talk about whatever the hell I want. These are informal hangouts where we can talk about whatever the fuck we all choose and what I choose. My fucking show. I mean this with love, Jansen. I'm not mad, but watch yourself, son. Don't tell me what the fuck to talk about. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want. Thank you. Okay? We're good. I love you, but watch it. It makes sense, Visible Farms. Einstein, you gotta pay for that kind of show. Jeremiah Sanchez, I have a Volvo XC90 2008 all-wheel drive with the smallest liter, which is, I believe, a 3 point something or 2.8. No, the 2.8 is my Cadillac V6. It's the V6, though. I think it's a 3.1 or a 3.2 liter V6 in the Volvo. Stony Baker MD, don't really need to shake. It's big enough to accommodate on its own. They can, Jansen, help, but also they cannot at the same time. But I do love some of the turbocharged little four-banger engines that exist now. Seymour Cannabis, you're very welcome. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. All right, everybody, we're at 1 hour and 41 minutes and 38 seconds. So I'm going to take this moment to bid you all adieu. We will see you, obviously. So our shows every week now are on Sundays and Mondays, okay? I'm sure occasionally we'll do a bonus show. We're going to have all the how-to videos, all the update videos coming out very soon. Again, we're about to fire up the grow. As you can see right now, I got a lot of cleaning to do in here. Oh, no. There we go. Lots of cleaning to do in here. Before we can kind of get it back. But we're going to be working on it and getting her going. So at the end of the day, my friends, my family, thank you for tuning in. Remember, I love each and every one of you. Remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Remember, love yourselves, love your plants. Don't be afraid to take risks. Check out PotsquatchSales.com. If you go to PotsquatchGrowers.com, it will take you to PotsquatchSales.com. The website is about to be live for all of your CBD, seeds, and more. Check out the Potsquatch Growers community on Facebook. Answer the questions. It is a liability. That way, we can just let you in. All right? All right? All right. Love yourselves. Love each other. Be kind. I'll see you later. Peace out, everybody.